Okay, so here is a beautiful example of a cedar tree. And so cedars are really kind of hardy. If you notice with the cedar tree, this one's doing really, really well. But if we come over here, we have another little cedar tree. And this guy isn't doing as well. He's got a lot of yellow leaves. We had a really high water table yesterday. Cedars do not do really well in a high water table. And so these guys are actually doing better than we thought since we had such a wet season last year. Our next one is gonna kind of come over here. We have a few things. This little guy right here is an invasive species. It's just coming up. It's part of the mint family. It's super aromatic. This is catnip. You can smell it. It drives the little kitty cats crazy. We didn't show this yesterday, but since we're here and it looks so beautiful, dandelions are coming up. This is a type of mullein right here. This guy, we haven't done any of our spraying yet. This guy can get about 4 feet tall. We have a large variety of them. Their leaves are really, really soft, and they make what we know as cowboys toilet paper. You can figure that one out. This is a sage right here, or sage right here. These guys will have a white leaf on the bottom. As they get bigger, the leaf will get white. Again, this is some mullein here. You can see how much bigger that is. Those are both invasive species. You want to get those out of your yard as quickly as you possibly can. Here's another little invasive species right here. This is bull thistle. This guy right here has prickly little, you can see the stickers coming out. Those are protective devices. We can also see that on here we have some little fine ones, and they'll actually stick to your fingers. That is one, for protection so nothing eats it, and two, it has a milky white substance that comes out of it, which makes it super sticky. But then its seeds will disperse and spread around. We're gonna go over by my house a little bit. You can see this is my yard. We're in my homestead. A couple tree lines. You can hear the chickens in the background. We actually have, stop Harry. We actually have a wonderful Kentucky bluegrass on our ground. I have a ferocious pet following me as we go through this. I want to show you guys some crabgrass. Crabgrass is another example of invasive species. These bloomed yesterday in the afternoon, so that's pretty cool. We got dandelions coming up. Again, a weed, which comes up really well. Here's another great dandelion. So you guys should be seeing those in your yard as well. Here's crabgrass. And so we can see this. It'll grow in a nice little bush. See how nice and big those broad leaves are. These are a lot of grasses or invasive species out here. And so there's some really cool stuff. I'm taking you over. These are actually plum bushes. Here we have lilac on the other side. I didn't show this yesterday, but we have some old thistle that's dried out in here. I was hoping to show you guys some of my asparagus, but that hasn't come up yet. What we're going to is a nice little olive tree. And so I wanted you guys to be able to see this. This guy right here. This is a Russian olive. And I want you to look at, it's not in bloom, so you don't have to show dormant species if you don't want, but these guys are not just branches. These are little thistle or thorns coming off of the sides of these. So they're quite pokey. It's got a nice little, the bark has texture to it. It'll have a light greenish, almost whitish leaf to it, and it produces a little thing called olives. These guys are not the olives that you want to eat. They are a Russian olive. And obviously you can tell where they came from. It's Russia. So this is another little invasive species. This will have a nice little white flower that comes up, or sorry, yellow flower on this one that will come up, and it will spread across the ground. This is my garden, so I need to do some rooting for this. The point of this is that you guys understand that you can just go around your backyard and you could show us things like Kentucky bluegrass. We can also see we got clover right here. So I mean, there's lots of little plants. You don't have to go very far to see that, and I want you guys to understand that. Now, The sign up is online. I want you guys to be able to go and sign up to see all that stuff. Sign up for your plants. Make sure that you get something that you like. You can go anywhere you want. Note that I don't want you to duplicate somebody else's field trip. I want this to be uniquely yours. So you can use the stuff that I showed you, because I showed you a lot. But you do not have to use, I don't want you reusing what everybody else has. Also with this, I'm going to show you some stuff. My dog's kind of freaking out. These are lilac bushes. They're just starting to bud. They were kind of not so great yesterday. They're just starting to bud. These are the old seed pods here, as you can see. So those are really kind of cool, and we'll have some nice little lilacs this year, thank goodness. If we go over here, I have some plants already starting to come up. I wanted to show you this. These are daylilies. Beautiful. So you can see some of those. So you can show us whatever you want to show us, as long as you show us a bunch of different types of plants. I even brought my geraniums out yesterday so they look awesome. So here are my geraniums. They're just loving that they're out in the sun and not stuck in my house. So whatever you guys want to do, totally fine. Just make sure that you give us a field trip with 5 different plants and you can't copy the people in front of you. All right? So have fun. Take us somewhere exciting. Go sign up for those field trips. And make sure you tell us a little bit about the species that we showed you, including if they're like an invasive species, a natural species, something different. All right? Thanks, guys. Have a great and beautiful day.